of fighting stigma surrounding mental health. But if you're anything like I am, you know that that's much easier said than done. Personally, I'm no stranger to the crushing weight of the world on one's chest in the midst of a panic attack, or in the endless, hopeless abyss of a depressive episode, or even in the effects of inner scrutinization of one's eyes on their body, as I've experienced and witnessed firsthand the weight on the hearts and friends of loved ones that mental health issues bring. As someone who's faced some of these struggles, I remember feeling the isolation that couples itself with this shame of silent struggle. However, the reality of mental health is quite the opposite. The National Alliance on Mental Health states that 22.8% of US adults have experienced mental health illness. That's around 57.8 million people and roughly representative of around 1 in 5 adults. I know, it seems like a lot. A question we should begin to ask ourselves is how many of those 57.8 million individuals are seeking adequate help? And how many lives can we save by treating these hardships as they are, as illnesses? I first joined the Greenwich Youth Coalition in my sophomore year of high school. I was a relatively new student living in Greenwich for only around a year and a half, and I was desperate to bridge this disconnect between myself and my community. Our youth coordination director, Karina, had come into our classroom, flyers in hand, speaking of this mission of advocacy for these silent struggles. And I couldn't help but feel drawn to the impact that this could have on our community. Slowly, as I began to attend meetings and aid in the brainstorming, I realized that this is youth speaking for the youth. And though the benefits don't limit themselves to only our youth, feedback from the youth to the youth is crucial in ensuring that this audience, which usually goes unspoken for, can know that we hear them, that we know their struggles, and most importantly, that those 1 in 5 are not alone. The day of the first yellow tulip planting I attended, I looked at the tiny brown bulbs in the bag and almost laughed at the irony that something so small and unassuming could portray such a strong message. But after a few long months following, little yellow blooms blossomed into impressive stalks, marking Hope Day. I realized our youth organizations take on the form of an unassuming tulip bulb. But with the motivation of impact and growth, our growing reach can mark the start of hope for those in a state of struggle. Eventually, the members of our youth will rise up and become the adults of tomorrow, so that makes it all the more crucial to smash the stigma early and build a strong foundation of good mental health for generations to come. However, the vastness of this impact that we strive to achieve is only possible through awareness. And through our Greenwich Youth though our Greenwich Youth Coalition continues to work towards positively impacting our local community, there's only so far that we can reach. This is a humbling reality, considering that advocacy and awareness are crucial to communities outside of our reach. And this is why I believe that spaces such as youth coalitions, or any body of assembled students towards this cause, can exponentially continue to shed light, so that in our schools, we're building more than intellectual foundations, but embedding in our youth that if they, or anyone they know, are in need of support, it is there. This awareness that they don't need to hold shame towards struggles, but to seek support is something that they will never outgrow. To support our youth is to support our future. Thank you.